I'm Shantae, and thanks for stopping by Design to Inspire. Today, we have our team panel, and we're talking about peer pressure, the pressures of being a Black female in society today, and also body image. I chose peer pressure because a lot of times our kids don't know that they're being peer pressured. They don't really know what it is, because it's just not all about, negative things. And so today we're going to be discussing some signs of ways that you can tell if your child is dealing with peer pressure. Even adults sometimes don't know. So signs that you can tell if somebody's dealing with peer pressure, or you can talk about, we're going to talk about the negative effects of peer pressure and some positive effects of peer pressure. So 90% of teens say that they have experienced being peer pressured before. And 28 feel that their social status has been boosted because they gave in to peer pressure. The effects of peer pressure vary. There are some positive outcomes of peer pressure. So, for instance, a friend can pressure you into trying a new activity that you end up loving, and there you go. You have a new hobby, or it encourages you to get education in some different areas. So there are some positive outcomes. It's just not about influencing the next person to smoke, drink, or have sex. But the negative side of peer pressure is extreme. It's been proven to lead to depression, high stress, poor decision making that causes conflict in a lot of areas in your life. Oftentimes, kids don't like to tell when they're being peer pressured, which is another form of bullying. Peer pressure affects your health as well in both positive and negative ways. So, for instance, your friends can say that they want to go for pizza for lunch when you really want a salad because, you're trying to look nice and whatnot and be healthy. And then all of a sudden, because they're driving, you have to get what they get or you can't ride. Like, it's something just as simple as that. So some signs of peer pressure is increased irritability, reckless behavior that seems out of character, depression, substance abuse, and sudden change in attitude, behavior, or beliefs. So let's get into our team panel. So today with us, we have 3 teens from 3 different high schools across Denver metro area. We have Makayla, Nyla, and Ajane. So first, thank you guys for being a part of this panel. I really appreciate it. So we're going to dive right into these questions. So after hearing the definition of peer pressure and hearing kind of the side effects of it, have you ever been pressured by your peers to do something?
Yes. Yeah, I have, definitely.
Yeah, I can. A lot.
Okay, so did you give in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So that, I think it depends on the situation. Like, mostly so that they wouldn't look at you some type of way like, oh, you think you're this and that. And you're like, no, so then you do it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Nyla?
Or like you want that person to like you. Like you want that person to like you. Yeah, basically what she said. You want him, yeah.
I think so I could just try new things and I can get invited to new places. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, so you felt like giving in boosts your social status.
It does, because then people are like, oh, she's with it, invite her. Yeah.
Okay, so when you get peer pressure, do you feel like you have a choice, or do you feel like you have to say yes?
You definitely have a choice.
Well, sometimes when you say no, they like you. Well, it depends on the situation, because sometimes when you say no, they be like, ooh, I like her because she be on her own thing. Sometimes there's people like that, but then sometimes when you say no, be like, no more of her, I'll just ask somebody else.
Because then they think every time they ask you something, it's going to be a no.
Yeah.
So.
But that's an interesting point, that sometimes you're like more because you hold your own. And if you don't want to do something, I don't want to do it, and I'm saying no. And so sometimes you can look at saying no with respect. Okay, so did you know as soon as you ask someone to do something and they say no, asking why not and saying come on is a form of peer pressure?
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop you guys from saying why not and come on?
Nope.
Why?
Because sometimes if you're doing something, well, for me, and you don't want to do it alone, especially, you don't really care if they say no. You can, depending on how close you are or you guys' relationship, you know if you ask enough times or if you push a certain amount that they'll give in and do it. It's like a selfish thing, kind of.
Does that only refer to friends?
No.
Or do you guys try to peer pressure your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Since peer pressure is just a simple why not, or, you know, ask why not all the time.
What about you? What do you think about that?
Well, sometimes I say why, but that's just to my mom. Like, I don't say why to my dad. But I just say why to my mom. Sometimes. Because some people, like, different households are different, you know? Some people say, like, why mom? But some people feel like that's disrespectful. So my parents think it's disrespectful. So I don't say why to them. But
other times it's like a genuine, like, I want to know why.
But sometimes I don't even ask why.
Yeah, because I know y'all gonna say because I said so.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're just. So I don't even ask.
Okay.
I don't even bother asking.
So if we want to be honest, who has ever peer pressured a friend into doing something?
Me.
You thinking about it or you raising your hand? You never peer pressured a friend into doing something?
No, I don't.
But you've been pressured.
You could say you peer pressured me before.
Okay.
Okay, so did you realize that you were doing that and how did you feel when you were doing it? Did you care? Well, maybe they said no, so I should just leave it at that, or?
Actually, yeah, I have.
It depends on how hard you push. Like, if I say why not and then they give in the first time, then it's like I don't really care because clearly you want to do it to some extent. But if I keep going and they keep saying no, then it's like, okay, whatever, do what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a certain point, I'm not gonna care anymore.
Okay, so what about body image? So I know you guys are clearly different in some aspects. You guys are all of the melanin, deep chocolate melanin. But you guys all have your own different looks. Ajane, we know you're one of the taller ones, but you're confident about your height. You know, Nyla might be one of the thicker ones, but you're confident about your style, you know what I'm saying? And so, do you guys feel that there are pressures around your body image?
Yes.
Like, so where does that pressure come from? Do you feel like it's generated from TV, from magazines, from videos of how you should look?
I say society and peers, or people in the society.
It's just like the everyday life. Like, you can't really explain it because it's the everyday life.
Well, I can kind of explain it.
I can't explain it.
Well, we have like Instagram and stuff like that, and you have like these big people that are always getting like praised for their like body.
Yeah.
And we have like these lower people that have goals to be like them, but we like try to work out and do like squats to get like these big butts or whatever, but we don't know that they're like getting surgery and stuff for these things. And we get mad because we do like squats and we don't get super big butts like they do, not knowing that they get surgery and stuff like that. And we can't do nothing for our boobs unless we do go out and get surgery and stuff like that. And we get really mad because we don't look like them, and our goal like throughout high school is to look like them, not knowing this is just our body and we should just love ourselves for us.
That's a good point. I mean, social media is really not real life. Some stuff is, but especially these celebrities, you know, they don't talk about, you know, the things that they do. They don't even talk about the fact that they have money to have personal trainer. They have money to have a personal chef that cooks them all the food and stuff like that, that can help them stay fit. They don't talk about all that, but you just see the glamour side. You see the aftermath of the surgeries. You see, even speaking on that, Cardi B, everybody was talking about her snapback. She just came out and said she had liposuction after she had the baby. And she didn't tell anybody that, but she had to come out and say that because she had complications and had to cancel her tours. So things like that, people don't talk about what they go through, but then you have people who are dying and killing themselves, trying to starve themselves to be skinnier and trying to, you know, make themselves look like this person when they just sat there and laid there and had it done. You see what I'm saying? So you guys are feeling pressures from social media and celebrities and, you know, hair goals and relationship goals and all that. That puts pressure on people because you feel like if I don't look like that, then I'm not good enough.
And even like the everyday life about things, like when I go to a job interview, like am I right for the job? And because I'm black, you know, so I think about is he gonna look at me and be like, oh, she's black, I don't know if I should, or she has braids, I don't think that's appropriate for the job, or you know, like it's just everyday things that happen, and it's just like, so it's like when somebody asks you, it's just you can't explain because it's every day. It's the people, it's the hate, it's the vibe of everybody gives me this energy, and it's just you think it in the back of your head, like always when you're growing up. Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I slim enough? You know, and it's like we all had to go through it in different states. Cause I grew up in Oklahoma, so even growing up here, I didn't think kids here grew up with insecurity because they had the shoes and stuff like that. They had the good clothes and stuff like that. And when I didn't grow up with all that, like I really didn't care much about that, but I still had those insecurities, and everybody has it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. It really is.
I grew up with that. I was one of the darkest. Even out of my siblings, I was always one of the darkest, one of the shortest, one with the shortest hair. It was thick hair, so it was kinky. It wasn't flowing down my back even my dad had hair flowing down his back. So I kind of felt like the oddball. And so my mom, she would braid my hair and she'd put beads to the tip just to try to give me some hang time. So I grew up with that stigma too. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, it was, you ain't right if you ain't light. Light skin, pretty eyes was in.
Yeah.
And so that still is kind of the thing today. Mm-hmm. It's still, I remember in high school getting dumped for a light skin, long hair female. That gave me a complex. However, I came into myself. Like, I'm dark, I love it, I know it, you know what I'm saying? And so just the whole, we all have different insecurities about our body image. So do you feel like you're being pressured to fit into the norm, or do you feel like society does give you an equal chance to stand out?
Both. Because I feel like society is open enough nowadays for you to be yourself, and either people will accept it or try to ride your wave. It really depends. But then it's like, if you do your own thing, then people will look at you weird if you're not like following what everybody else likes, or if you're not doing what everybody else is doing.
There's certain type of people that will like accept you for you and then just want you to be like everybody else because they don't want you to be big, and I don't really know how to explain it.
So they'll pressure you into being like everybody else because they know that if you start a trend, people are going to follow you and you're going to blow up. Yeah. It's kind of like Regina George. Regina George on Mean Girls, like they did all that stuff to try to make her, you know, when they cut the holes in the shirt and she put it on and it became a trend, like, but it's okay to stand out and be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you are your own brand. So if you don't build and believe in yourself, nobody else is. So on this whole thing of body image, so over the last few years, the natural hair has came out strong within the Black community. The estimated amount of money spent on hair products, that's not talking about accessories, it's not talking about like bundle. It $2.5 billion just in the Black community on hair products. So do you feel like that movement, the natural hair movement, has paved a path for you? Why or why not?
Yes, because I can say for myself, a while ago, I would be so insecure about wearing my own hair. I would always have to like put it up in the like if I even put it in a ponytail, put some weave around it so that I could have hair, you know. If I didn't have it, I would feel like, oh, I'm not myself. I don't have my hair done. Da, 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 da. But now it's like seeing everybody else wearing their hair, doing different things to their hair with confidence. It's like I don't have nothing to be ashamed about. You know, I can wear my own hair, cost less money. You know, so.
It's just a deep question. I just gotta think about it. Like
It is.
My insecurities was definitely my skin and my hair as well, because I grew up like with short hair, and I also got a perm, trying to be, you know, straight gang. But I think that everybody should own themselves. Just own yourselves. Just say, forget it. This life is, we only live once. You know, I can't live, and people are dying every day. I can't stress that enough for people. So just live your life to the fullest, and don't worry about what people say about your skin or your hair or whatever, because God made you how He made you. If they don't like it, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. You don't put food on my table,
Facts.
clothes on my back.
Facts.
My mom loves me. She thinks I'm pretty, and my dad, he thinks I'm pretty. So that really doesn't. I mean, and some dudes think I'm cute too. So a little sprinkle of dudes out there think I'm cute. So some may think I'm ugly, but some think I'm cute. So oh well, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Okay, so what about, have you guys ever experienced white individuals wanting to touch your hair, wanting...
Okay, can I just say something? Okay, so there's this, I'm not gonna say no names. I always get braids, and I always just go into this one class, and she just says, I love the feeling of your hair. Like, can I just, before she even like asked to touch it, she's touching it and be like, can I just touch your hair? And I'm all like, why are you asking to touch my hair if you're already touching my hair? And I just don't understand.
I don't like that.
Me neither.
I'm not
It's
no pet.
offensive. Do you guys take offense to that?
Yes.
Why?
And when I was a kid,
Or
or I
I-
had dreads, they would
Sorry.
always say I'm my boy.
Or I hate when they ask, is this your real hair? When they
take
know
offense
it's not my
because
real
it's like-
hair.
I take offense because, for one, why are you like caressing my hair like I'm your pet? I don't like that. Two, it's like I don't go around asking you if I could touch your hair because it looks cool. Like hair is hair.
Right.
So it is offensive because, you know, back in the day, they thought that people with our skin tone, we were entertainment. Like, we were so different, and oh my gosh, how's your hair so coarse, and how's your skin so dark, and how's your butt so naturally big, and your hips so naturally wide. So even though that was years ago, it still carries over. And what I hate is if I were to wear what you have on, Ajane,
Oh, you're so.
what I
bad.
hate, that matches your skin so, like, I would be washed out in that. Or those are so fun. Those things are offensive. It's offensive because it's offensive,
Like a clown or
and
something.
I know, right? So it's pressures even from that, even in the workplace, to be like the others and wear 3 different outfits that you mix and match, and wear your hair back. Like, I have friends who have work hair. They wear their natural hair out on the weekend and stuff, but when they go to work, they have a nice sleek wig on that they consider work hair because it's more professional. That is a stigma that we put ourselves into to try to be accepted by the norm. Like, you see all those stories on the news where, especially that black guy who had the dreads, where the ref wouldn't let him be in the wrestling match because of his hair, and right there in the match, they cut his dreads off.
What?
Yes.
I
That
did not hear
happened.
about that.
That happened about a
That's
year and a
crazy.
half ago. So what does that say?
The world we live in is
Rosa Parks didn't do nothing.
sad.
You have
Your
to fit.
opportunities are cut down if you don't like fit the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it's not even just girls who are dealing with body image and stuff. Guys too. Like there are some guys who come into puberty way late.
Why does it bother them so much?
That's the burning question. But because we know that it does bother them, then we have to figure out as a community how we live through this still being ourselves. Because just because it bothers them does not mean that it has to bother you.
And social media didn't make it any better either.
It did not, and it does not.
Because now everybody can say their opinion about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And that stuff manifests in your head. Like when you see that over and over and over every single day, that sticks in the back of your head and you start to believe that.
Now, do you start to believe that because of a decreased esteem issue in yourself?
Well, that's what happens when it's being pushed down your throat every day.
But if your esteem was where it should be, then there's nothing about you that anybody can tell you that goes against what you think about yourself,
Oh yeah.
that you believe. So with this whole body image and this whole whatever stigma that they try to place you in, do you feel like if you just boost your self-esteem and your confidence, because back then when I was whatever and worried about my skin, worried about I was one of the thickest, little chubby girl, like my food, I had that complex. But now I walk with a switch in my hips. You can look at that.
Period.
Like there's nothing that you can tell me negative about myself. You tell me I'm ugly, that's fine. You don't like my natural hair, my shave size, that's fine. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
there comes a time when you guys have to boost up yourself and believe in your own self. That way, nobody can come and tell you anything. Nobody can come and tell you that your hair ain't professional. Nobody can come and tell you, like, can somebody come and tell you you're ugly because you're tall?
They can, but I ain't gonna believe it.
Exactly, because even today, you wore some 5-inch heels. So, you take what may be a flaw to somebody else, and you magnify that, and let it be your beauty mark. So, one of our last questions is, how do you say no to peer pressure? And do you think that you'll lose friends if you do?
I say no. And so depending on the situation, I think that friends will be lost, but it doesn't bother me only because if they were your real friends, they would respect your boundaries. Especially in regards to like safety, health, different things like that. If they're trying to get you into trouble or stuff you don't need to be in, then they can be lost.
Mm-hmm. But not everybody has that confidence in themselves to say no like that. So, what do you do when you're not confident enough to
When
tell?
you're not confident, sometimes you just gotta make excuses. That's like in the real world. I would just make excuses.
Or not even an excuse, find a way to word what you want to say. Like, you don't have to be straight up no or passive about it, but you could be like, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Can we do something else? They still say no, then be like, oh, I'll just chill here. Like, you can dismiss yourself. You can,
And if they keep doing that over and over again, that just shows they not like.
You gotta say it with your chest. You can't let them keep
I
pushing
don't know.
you.
They just not good friends for me. I just gotta leave right there in that situation. I've had to do it before. I gotta do it again.
I'll just stay woke in every situation, like just being smart about every move I make, because the thing about life is, sadly, it's like a quiz every day, like a game. And it's like different things come to you, and you have to sort of be like a decision maker. And it's like a butterfly effect in your life. You make one decision, and that could cause this to happen to you, and then you're just like, dang, why did I do that?
Right, you gotta think for yourself
Yeah.
because you never really know people's true intent. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you follow along just to say you did it or to have friends, you can find yourself in a situation that's horrible just
Horrible.
because you wanted to fit in. But you have to know, like, what you're getting yourself into before you just say, oh, okay.
I would just, my biggest thing, I think about my family. That's what I think about. When I get into situations like that, I think about my loved ones because I think about the outcome of the situation. Like, will I be able to, if I do this, will I be able to go home after I do this? Like,
you're on a different level already because a lot of teens y'all's age, they're selfish. They think about themselves and they think about the outcome later.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are all going into your junior year of high school. What would you say to incoming black freshman little girls? Like, you have a sister that's going to be a freshman. You have a little cousin that's going to be a freshman, a little brother who's about to be a freshman. What would you guys tell them as far as standing against peer pressure, and especially being a black female in society today? What would you tell them if they watch this video?
To ride your own wave. Like, that means do what you want to, well, not what you want to do in that way, but you don't have to follow everybody. You don't have to do what so-and-so does because they're your friend, or you don't have to do
And it's cool
The
to not
long
have
run.
friends.
right.
It's
like,
cool to not have
friends are
friends.
overrated. Friends will get you
Yeah.
in so much drama. They will have you stressing over nothing.
At the end of the day, you are by yourself. At the end of the day,
Think about
you got your
the
cousins
long
and
run.
stuff, but
think about the long run, not about having a good time, because
like, friends don't really
don't
impact
care
your
about
life
you.
in a positive way as much as people
your
try to make
enemies
it
are your
seem.
friends.
Like, the closest people to you can do you the dirtiest, and so
Exactly. Your
life
closest friends will do you the dirtiest.
But have your fun though. Have your fun.
I
But
can't
remember to use your brain. Just use this. Like, you could go over to your friend's house, but
be
if they
smart.
start being weird, just be ready to
Right.
pop your ass. You know, like, just always be smart and always keep your head on a swivel, because you can't let somebody catch you.
Go to school, get your education,
slipping.
and
Like,
leave.
that's what happens to me all the time.
Oh.
I get caught slipping.
Every single
Don't
year
get
you
caught.
gonna have a different group of friends.
And don't
sometimes you
procrastinate.
need any.
Do not procrastinate.
Do
Oh my
your
God.
work. Do your homework. If they give you
Be the
homework,
teacher's pet.
knock it
Just
out.
go to school.
Knock it out.
Don't if your friends think you're weird for being the teacher's pet. Oh well, but be the teacher's pet. You gonna love
Because
it.
it will get you places like.
You gonna
Right.
love it.
Ditching. It might feel good to not go to class. It might feel
Don't
like,
ditch.
yeah,
Have very good attendance.
no.
I'm grown. I'll do what I want.
Yeah, it might feel
Go to
good.
all the school dances. Go to everything.
Don't
Yeah.
ditch just to sit
Be
outside at the park. Like,
active in school.
literally, like, don't ditch just to sit outside and talk and do stuff with your friends. Just
Be
go
good
to
with all
school.
the counselors, all the office people.
Be
Be good with
Nice,
everybody.
smile,
Take advantage of your opportunities.
Right, smile. Even if your face hurts, smile.
smile. Carry yourself, because you represent yourself. You represent your parents. You represent
You
something.
represent your
Everybody
smaller siblings,
is
yeah.
important. Like, you might not think so, but you represent something.
And
You represent
on that
something.
note, treat
You-
everybody like they're somebody. Don't look down on somebody just because.
Okay, well, that's very good advice for, I mean, there's things that you can glean out of there. I do, we do understand that growing up, especially high school, is just a whole different world. And so, you find stuff that you want to dibble and dabble in and stuff like that. And I think that every parent knows their child will test the waters here and there, but you have to be smart about your decisions. Know what you can handle, know what you can't handle, know who you can handle, who you can't handle, and you can't get so far into where you can't reel yourself out. And so also, what I would also interject is finding a mentor. If I had a mentor when I was a freshman, my whole high school career would have been different. If I had somebody that was a senior that I could glean to, and they could, be real and transparent with me and tell me, no, you don't want to do that. No, or, and just help me and lead me along the way, it would have changed so much stuff about high school, having an accountability partner. But like she said, friendships in high school are so temperamental. Like, you fight one day, the next day y'all are friends going to lunch, then the next day you're with my ex-boyfriend and just a whole bunch of stuff. So, you guys are almost there, and live it up, okay? But thank you guys for being a part of this panel. And I think we're done. Thank you guys.